It's me. It's me. OG. Not anymore. Gotta do me. A-Rag in the seat, in the booth, in the geek. Yeah. Yeah.
And we are here at the Ask Us Sports Podcast. Unfortunately, we aren't on a deserted island like Brian Laundrie, but I am here with my two bad bitches, Kembo, Jay Slice, and Viggy Betts, Andrew Vigilati. Andrew, how's your weekend?
Nope.
It was wonderful. It was absolutely fantastic, Shane. I think you know how my weekend went.
Absolutely. Ken, how was your weekend?
Good, Shane. I Shane clearly wrote that line like Wednesday night after last week's show and forgot to rewrite it, but I got it's good enough. Very good, Shane.
So, Ken, you know I'm a conspiracy theorist. I'll have to share a post with you that I came across last night. Just so we're all clear here, the cops didn't find his body; they found a human skull, and the dental records were from his done by his uncle. So we'll see. Like I said, I'm a conspiracy theorist. Maybe Ken and I can make a conspiracy podcast one day because I know
we
Ken
should do that.
Great idea.
We should do that. I mean, so they're that smart to come up with that brilliant idea, but they aren't smart enough to have somebody else stumble upon the campsite other than mom and dad.
See, that's what I'm saying. Is it's kind of set up because they're also saying that his notebook just needed to be dried out, but it had been underwater for several days, but it just needed to be dried out. What FBI microwave is going to dry out that notebook that they're able to read out of? Do government officials just get special microwaves?
I don't know, man. I think we're definitely tapping into something here. We're in dangerous territory.
My crazy uncle thinks that there's well, it's not my uncle, it's my wife's uncle thinks that there's microwaves and that the government has them and all that stuff all over the place.
See, I would love to do a special Ask Us conspiracy podcast. I think that it would be fantastic. I
could go all day. I would have a hard time deciding which ones to include in my scripts. Never mind which ones to
Brian Laundrie's number one because he's being protected by the government.
Number one, you say, huh? That's
like number one that we should talk about because it's freshest, right?
I suppose that's fair.
Unless you want to talk about like the crazy conspiracy that the vaccine is just implanting chips into us to track us.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah, like you guys ever notice like when you're eating dinner and your fork gets stuck to your hand? I hate that.
Yeah, or like your fork gets stuck to your face.
Yeah, it's
like you're putting it in your mouth and eating, and all of a sudden you can't pull it out.
Happens all the time. My beard gets fuzzy, you know.
Yep.
But that'll be for another show. I think I'll get with Ken about that because I actually am pretty intrigued about doing something like that.
Oh,
and I think we can work something out. We just have to schedule around this podcast and Ken's break schedule. But other than that,
it's kind
I
of
think
a
we can figure something out.
But
let's jump right into it.
It's prayer time.
Ken,
Jordan Valvarez is up right now.
Ken, we had our hearts ripped out last week. This Red Sox team fumbled the bag. A lot of people want to blame Laz Diaz, including me. Ninth inning.
No.
It was strike three. I called the ball. It was recorded the worst umpiring in MLB history and for the whole season. It was the worst called game all season, and it happened to be in the ALCS, which can't happen, in my opinion. I think you need to have your best umpires, and Laz Diaz was rated the worst umpire in the league last year, or this season. So how is he getting playoff gigs? I know Joe West got a playoff gig, and one other bad umpire got a playoff gig. Andy probably has a name because he hates umps. But
not all umpires, Shane, just a few. Just a few.
But no, it was awful. I guess I just want your thoughts and what the thoughts are around Boston right now.
I mean, they share the same feeling, but I don't think anybody necessarily thinks we lost the series because of that called game. I think there's other reasons to point to say that they lost this series. First and foremost, while I think the talks of them having a disastrous trade deadline were a bit overblown because Heimblum did do some good things, but I don't think it's good enough to say that we've validated that he is this genius that he was supposed to be, because they didn't do anything for the bullpen. That was the biggest thing. That was a huge issue. That was a huge need. Ottavino could not handle a full inning. We saw that. He was kind of a one-batter specialist. And like Matt Barnes is basically a walking Shakespeare play. Like, he was a tragedy on display this season. No one could have predicted that, unfortunately, that he just forgot how to pitch. But still, they could have done more to get bullpen help. They could have done more to get a Kendall Graveman. They could have done something. Also, Kyle Schwarber is not a what?
I was just gonna say, after the spider tech, that's when Barnes went
exactly.
downhill.
Also, Kyle Schwarber, not a first baseman. I'm pretty sure that his defense cost him a game, and that's on Bloom. That's on Bloom to address that need. Kyle Schwarber did not play first base, and frankly, probably should have had Travis Shaw or Bobby Dalbec at first base during Game 7, the last game there, Game 6. Otherwise, I mean, we saw it. Like Hunter Renfroe, we've seen enough. It's time to move on from that experiment. From throwing the ball all over the place to overshooting cutoff men to everything in between. He's not cut out for it. And I think that was sort of another reason that led to their downfall. They needed first base help. They didn't necessarily need Rizzo, but they needed a real first baseman, a defensive first baseman. And if you weren't going to get that, they could have put it Schwarber and Wright, had Renfroe take a seat, and let Dalbec or Shaw take a game at first, because I think that was the biggest issue for them.
You want to talk about tragedy? Let's talk about Hunter Renfroe being an amazing player throughout the playoffs until the ALCS, where he just kind of disappeared completely.
He looked like he was like playing in pickup softball to me. Like he was just overthrowing cutoff men, kind of throwing it nowhere, just kind of showing off his cannon. And there was the one time where he was batting, and I think, what was he batting, sixth normally, and hit into the double play, killed the entire inning, 2 runners on. And then the next game, Cora moved him down to 8th and moved Verdugo and Arroyo ahead of him, specifically because if they were in that type of situation again, Cora wanted to bunt. So it's like Renfroe just hamstrung them. And I just think that with the way this team is and the way that they're building it, you need polished players. You don't need kind of these Bush League Sunday dad guys, which is what I considered Renfroe to be. So I think you need to trade in Renfroe. You don't need to spend a lot of money, and frankly, we all expect that they're not going to. They're not going to spend any money this offseason. This is what they do now. They're going to fill their rosters with talent that's not exciting, cheap, not exciting, but efficient. And I think
I think you've got to move on from Renfroe anyways. I think you've got to get Jarren Duran regular at bats and right. Because he really is in my opinion, is a solid prospect, and I think he could be a solid addition to the team. I know everyone in Boston was excited when he came up, but obviously he wasn't getting regular at bats. You can't do that for a young guy. That's why they sent him back down, right? Because he just wasn't getting regular at bats.
I think Verdugo is the poster child of what this management is going to be looking for, because they got Verdugo. Nobody was excited about it except Shane, but nobody was excited about it. But he has slowly won people over. He's won over the whole city. He's got an immense baseball IQ, great intangibles, does everything right, but nothing.
His interviews are bar none.
Yeah. He does everything right. I mean, on the field, his hitting, it's not like top 10, top 20, top 30 in the league, but he does all those little things right. He kind of is like, I think, what Benintendi was supposed to be, So I think Verdugo's that poster child of what to expect, and I think those are the types of players that Chaim Bloom's going to be looking for this offseason.
So before we move on to the NLCS and get Andy's reaction to that, Ken, you said I was the only one you knew that was excited about Verdugo. Is there another player in New England that I was super excited about that no one was excited about that now everyone's excited about?
Was it Big Mac?
It was Big Mac. Don't you? I think you might like him. Don't you like him now?
I like him. Yeah, I like what I'm seeing. I like his attitude. I like.
Would you say you like Verdugo?
Oh yeah, I do like Verdugo. I have a couple nice Verdugo cards. One came from you actually.
Yeah. So would you say that maybe I have an eye for good talent?
Local talent, sure. Maybe local talent. I'm not giving you. I'm still not giving you Tua yet. I'm still not giving you Tua.
He did look good though this past weekend. He did look good.
Yeah.
But I also like Christian Arroyo, and he's starting to win some people's hearts in New England.
I'm not jumping on that one. No, I'm certainly not getting on board with that.
I also like Kike.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's got like a winning IQ because he came from the Dodgers. He's been in the playoffs every year. This was nothing new for him. And he was free. So yeah, but he's just like Verdugo. Like Verdugo, Hernandez, those are the types of guys that you're going to see a lot of this offseason. They're not going to go get these big names. They're going to go get these guys that aren't going to probably hit 20 home runs, but they're going to bat 270, and they're not going to do anything bad or wrong.
I am excited for our spring training podcast because I would absolutely kill to get you two down here to go see some spring training games.
Oh, do it live from spring training.
Yes. Andy, let's move to the NLCS where obviously the emotions were running high there. Braves take it. Big celebration, big time celebration from you. I watched the whole game with you on the phone while I was working. What are your thoughts? I know as a Braves fan, you must be super excited.
Yeah, you know the saying, there's no crying in baseball. Well, that went out the window when we got the final out. Yeah, it was really emotional for me. 22 years, not getting to the World Series in between World Series. So yeah, it was pretty amazing. Pretty scary in the 7th inning in Game 6, obviously, with the Dodgers threatening, but Tyler Matzik coming in big time, huge, getting those 3 strikeouts, adding another one in the 8th inning, just really cementing the series. And the Braves really earned it, to be honest with you. I'll go into a little bit deeper specifically as to potentially why some people disagree with that, but the Braves earned it. We were the better team, and so far so good in the World Series through the 1st inning.
Absolutely. Ken, I want to read a quote to you from Jock Peterson. I think it was from today. He wrote like a small letter, basically asking, his thoughts on the Braves and how they got there. So this is it. Obviously, I don't know what's coming next. It's impossible to predict what's going to happen over these next 4, 5, 6, even 7 games. I like our chances, though, because, we might not be a super team. We might have only won 88 games. We might have had our share of injuries and slipped below some people's radar and taken an unconventional path to get to this stage. And this is where the killer comes right here. But we also just might be those motherfuckers, and no one's beat us yet. And that's the quote from Jock Peterson today. Gotta love it, right? From a guy like that.
Yeah. He's the husk. He's that kind of scrappy dude. I think I compared him to like Johnny Gomes last week and Kevin Millar. And frankly, he's probably going to be the guy that the entire city of Houston hates if the Braves win this series, right? Because he's probably going to be the one who's flipping bats and talking smack and jumping up and down and making a show of it. So I think that's what's good for baseball. I think people still want to see that stuff. I think people want to be excited for this World Series. And I think it is a good World Series. I think it's a great World Series if Atlanta wins. I think if Houston wins, people are going to be pretty disappointed because frankly, they're still the cheaters in everybody's eyes. The ALCS was the matchup of the cheaters. Red Sox fans or not, we have to admit that. So I think it'd be nice for the Braves to win this one, especially because they did it the right way. Because frankly, they're doing it with what I would consider to be like one of those 2004, 2008, 2013 Red Sox teams. The Braves really, based off this lineup that you're looking at, when you compare it to last spring training, you'd never expect them to be here, and probably maybe even don't deserve to be here in the nicest way possible. Not to say that they haven't earned it. They certainly have, but I don't think anybody would have expected it. And it's kind of reminds me of those Red Sox teams that would make the World Series that you never in a million years expected this, and here it is. So kudos to them. I hope my boy Soler gets a ring. That's really what I want. And I want him to hit a home run every game, and he'll make me a very rich man.
Andy, before we wrap this one up, I just want to know, what would it mean to you for the Braves to win this World Series?
Absolutely everything, man. I 32 years old. Braves won at 95. I was 6 years old. I was too young. I don't claim it by any stretch of the imagination. The only other World Series appearance that I claim is 99. I was 10 years old. We got swept by the Yankees. It was not a good World Series at all. So this being really my second, and with obviously getting swept the first time in my life, really being a Braves fan when I was 10 years old, it would mean the world to me. It really would. Getting to the World Series on Saturday night really was everything to me. So this would be, the cherry on top.
Absolutely. Seeing the Braves win this would be special. I'm not a Astros fan by any means of the matter. I'm definitely not a Carlos Correa fan. He's a dickhead. That "it's my time" shit was, and he's an idiot. I wish Christian Vasquez would have got up and punched him in the mouth. But yeah. Let's move on from this. Go Braves. Fuck the Astros. Ken, we'll start with you on this one. Is Patrick Mahomes broken? What are your thoughts here?
Yeah. What my thought is on this? So it reminds me. It has a special place in my heart because it reminds me of what people used to say about the dynasty that was built up here, Shane. How the good old days of they're just not good anymore and stuff like that, and it tends to surface. It comes from the media when the players who we are so used to seeing play at an elite level take a ever so slight step down to the point where they're not playing at an elite level, they're playing at an above average level. I don't know if you've looked. Mahomes is the quarterback 4 in fantasy leagues, for whatever that's worth. And yeah, I think people who watch sports, we're fickle. We're fickle beasts by nature. We're thinking, what have you done for me lately? And, after the Titans stinker, I think that's what's to be expected. But they have a get-right game coming up next week that we'll get to during our preview segment. But what happened with Brady each and every time this happened? He righted the ship, he fixed the issue, and by the end of the season, he was there at the end as part of one of the final 4 teams. I would not be the least bit surprised if the Kansas City Chiefs still make the AFC Championship. In fact, part of me still expects it. Maybe I'm naive because, frankly, they haven't been as good, but the talent, the pieces are all still there. And the good teams make the adjustments, just like Brady did all those years and continues to do. And I still have that utmost faith that Patty is of the elite caliber and that he will make the necessary adjustments. Though I would like to see him spend a little less time with his wife and his brother because they're probably destroying his mental capacity. Those 2 clowns.
Do you think he's not relying on the run enough, that he's just trying to rely on these backyard football type plays?
Well, they haven't been able to keep Clyde Edwards-Helaire on the field, and last year I think the lack of a consistent running game was kind of a real big undoing for them because they weren't able to rely on Le'Veon Bell either. But honestly, Darrell Williams has been a pretty decent fill-in to the point where I know it's a lot of it's coming through short passes, but they do need to set the tempo. It's just not something that they can just do with the running backs. This offensive line needs to figure something out. It's not good. It's really not good. The defense is not good. They look like a team where they have star-studded top 3, 4, 5 players, and then the rest of it underneath the hood is really gross. So
Yeah.
it's going to be a problem. I don't know if it's a problem they can address. But like when they're bringing in guys, like they brought in Josh Gordon, they had a lot of bigger needs, honestly, and they still needed that position too for receiver.
Byron Pringle's kind of stepped up too the last couple of weeks. He's got almost close to 200 yards in the last 2 weeks. He's looked good as a number 2-ish receiver.
Hardman's actually looks pretty good too. But all these guys are getting looks. They're getting looks because of the injuries to Hill and to Kelsey, who haven't been as polished as they've been in previous years. That's the biggest missing key. Kelsey has 1 touchdown this year, 1 through 7 weeks.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah, that's not right.
Andy, Mahomes, do you think he figures this out?
I mean, to be honest with you, it's not really much of a Patty Mahomes issue as it is a personnel issue. I mean, you're looking at this team, the offensive line is playing uninspired right now, and the defense is frankly playing uninspired right now. I mean, you know, when you have those 2 issues, it's hard for Patty to, you know, really put things together on a consistent basis. I mean, you take a look at that offensive line. I mean, the Titans were pretty much chasing him around. And it goes back to the Super Bowl last year against the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers chased him around. And when that happens, there's just no continuity. There's no consistency. Hold on one second. There's no consistency for this team. And sorry about that. And that's the problem with Kansas City. I mean, when they're on, they're on. They're a fantastic team to watch. They're a great offensive team to watch. But when they're off, it's because they have no protection up front and their defense is being too generous against the other team's offense. So it's not necessarily a Patty issue. It's a personnel issue across the board.
You're muted, Shane. But I think that's fair. I mean.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with both your points. We'll see what happens. I mean, we've seen Josh Allen and Ryan Tannehill go on to beat the Chiefs. Maybe the Chiefs get their revengeance in the playoffs, but maybe they don't. Maybe this isn't their year. Maybe they need
the great teams
draft in the offseason to fix their line.
The great teams do have down years. It's not unheard of. I mean, it's unfortunate, but it happens. So I mean, I'm not ready to totally count them out yet, but this is looking to me like a team that needs to like get their shit together quickly. And frankly, I think they should. I mean, it's not the team they had last year, but they should still be more competitive than they are right now.
Yeah. And now, Ken, I'm going to move on to another subject that you might definitely like. Again, we're doing things a little different this week. Our Pick'em segment may be a little quicker this week, just because there aren't that many intriguing games again. So we're bringing something a little different. We've got a new segment we're debuting tonight as well. But Ken, is Jamar Chase the best receiver in the NFL right now? He's had an amazing start to his rookie year. I think he might be the fastest receiver to however many yards he currently has.
Yeah, the 754 through 7 games, I think, was what they said. Which is a rookie, the fastest to ever hit that. And honestly, it's kind of funny. We got to eat crow because we were all giving him a lot of shit for him not being able to catch and so on and so forth. But I think something that's going very undersold here, and I don't know why we undersold it. We really should have thought more about it. But the connection with Burrow is unmatched. It's something that developed before the NFL. That's rare. You don't see a lot of quarterbacks and receivers meet up in the NFL. Typically, it doesn't happen, especially if they come out together. They're both going in the first 15 picks. So I think what you're seeing from them being together is a continuance of what you saw at LSU when they were just dominant together. And now they're doing sort of the same thing here with, frankly, a very good offensive scheme, really good offense with other guys around Chase, which is making it so that you can't double, triple cover him, whatever you're going to do. But honestly, if this continues, I could see Burrow and Chase being the next Rodgers and Adams. As crazy as that may sound, I honestly wouldn't be that bit surprised if they turned into the next Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams. I'm not really willing to call him the best receiver in the NFL already, but he's miles ahead, in my opinion, of where we saw CeeDee Lamb and Justin Jefferson. He just looks so much more ready to be a big play top 3 wide receiver in the NFL. Whereas I think what you saw from CeeDee Lamb and Justin Jefferson was, wow, these guys are going to be really good in a couple of years. Whereas Jamar Chase is good right now.
Would you go as far as saying maybe not best receiver in the NFL, but best deep threat currently?
Yeah, and it's because of the connection. It's not to say he's got more skill than Justin Jefferson or CeeDee Lamb. It's just the connection that these two have together. Do you guys remember? It wasn't that long ago when wide receivers needed that year 3 to break out. Like, this has happened.
That wasn't that long ago at all.
No, it was a couple of years ago. And now we've got Justin Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb rewriting history. And now we've got Jamar Chase, who looks like he's going to surpass what Justin Jefferson just did last year. So it's a different league now. And I think this is what we're seeing is these young, youthy stud wide receivers are coming in and they're NFL ready and they're the best players on the field.
No, absolutely. And I'm 100% willing to eat crow on my Jamar Chase take at the beginning of the season. During preseason, I said that he was going to bust, and he has proven me wrong every single game this year. He has been fantastic. I believe I called him going for 150 yards last week, and he went for 200. So this guy's real good, real good. I wish I took him in some of my dynasty leagues, but hey, sometimes that's the way the cookie crumbles. I did get Najee Harris and Kyle Pitts in a bunch of them, so I can't be complaining too much. Andy, Jamar Chase actually plays a big part in your NFL Sunday this week. Do the Steelers have someone to contain him?
Well, the Steelers are playing the Browns, so thankfully.
Why did I think you guys were playing the Bengals? My
thankfully,
bad.
With it, Shane.
That's not my. That's not our opponent this week, but I will give a comparison for Jamar Chase, his rookie season to this point, and I think you guys might like it. And it's gonna be, for me, it's gonna be Randy Moss. When I'm looking at Jamar Chase, I really kind of think of Randy Moss. He can stretch the field. He can basically make any catch that he wants. And, when I'm looking at Randy Moss's stats from his rookie season, 69 receptions for 1,300 yards. But I look at his longest reception in yards per reception. His yards per reception is 19. Jamar Chase is 21 and a half. So, I look at both of those guys and I think, man, we've had some, in my opinion, there's been some guys that could take his level of production when I look at year 1. We've seen in the past, but to me, Jamar Chase really is I think this generation's Randy Moss has the potential to be, because he's a home run threat, but he can also make a catch in double coverage. He can, stretch the field. He can, catch a screen pass and go all the way. He can pretty much do anything. And that, to me, is lethal in this game, especially, in this day and age.
Ken, do you like the Randy Moss play?
Yeah, I don't really remember Randy Moss's rookie year, but I like the play. I like what I see, and I think that you're seeing the same type of ability, honestly, on display. But yeah, like I said, I just don't want to undersell what the quarterback and wide receiver connection has been able to offer for these guys. Honestly, it's special, really. That's why I think it's trending towards that next Mahomes, Hill, Rodgers, Adams type of rapport. That's where we're going with this. I think a couple of years from now, they are going to be. I personally tend to I think Jamar Chase could be a top 3 receiver as soon as next year. I think Burrow could be a top 5 quarterback probably in the next 2.
No, I definitely agree with that. I'm loving what I'm seeing from Burrow. I'm loving what I'm seeing from Chase. This Bengals offensive line isn't as bad as people thought it was going to be this year. They're doing a decent job keeping Burrow upright. Also, the Bengals defense has really surprised a lot of people too, and has played well. So the Bengals are just trending up in general. Good offense, good defense, very good. Ken, moving into ECBC, what are we doing? What do we got going on?
Yeah, what do we got going on? Let's see. We did bagels out of bagels. Everybody knows out of bagels at ASCO Sports. Out of Bagels sponsored a certified hobby box that was actually really awesome, really good box. We started off with a Jacob Harris auto, made my stomach drop. I thought it was gonna be the RPA. I was ready to faint. Turn around, next card, boom, Zach Wilson auto out of 20. Great, awesome card. Followed by a Trey Lance rookie patch out of 50 teal. So 2 really good bangers, did some comps, definitely surpassed the value of the box. So those are both going to Bagels. That was really nice to see. Thank you, Bagels, for filling that box. And I don't know what's going to be next in terms of a break. You can see some stuff up there on my screen sort of hanging out in the corner there. There might be a secret giveaway coming on the Twitter, or I'm sorry, secret giveaway coming on the Discord. The Twitter will obviously not be a secret giveaway. That doesn't make sense. The Discord will be a secret giveaway. I encourage everybody in the Discord to participate. It'll be a good one, good prize. Coming up in the next couple of days, I think, followed by the Twitter giveaway. And other than that, we'll keep chugging along. I believe Absolute Football, the Kaboom, comes out this week. Kaboom will be on Panini tomorrow. See what it costs. It's going to be expensive, but
I think it's $4.75, right?
That's it?
Yeah. Card purchaser tweeted it out today.
Wow. Then why was Blowout Cards had them for fucking $700?
Yeah, card purchaser tweeted out the Panini Absolute.
Oh shit! I gotta make that drop then. Bagels, are you listening? What are you doing tomorrow? Yeah, no, you can't. You can't be $724.95 on Blowout Cards.
Yeah, maybe is that their resale price?
That's insane. It's never that large of a gap.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'll see what my vendor pricing is. But yeah, I
also want to see what the Kaboom hit rate is, because that Kaboom checklist is ginormous.
How big
compared to like other years?
How big is it? Is it like 40 or is it bigger?
I shared the post to you, but it's like 40. It's like 40 names.
Okay, that is a lot.
It's obviously like rookies, veterans. You're gonna have like a Justin Jefferson got his rookie Kaboom, I guess you could call it. There's tons of different players, but it's rather large considering the checklist in past years.
I honestly did not know that, but that is an interesting development. I don't own one, and I believe they're 12 box cases, so that's going to be tough to make sure you're hitting one if they are case hits. But I would like to take a stab at it, so I might grab a few and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested. So make sure you follow Ken, ECBC. I always like when Ken does this, but I'm going to steal his shine.
What are you doing?
If you can see,
scan that bad boy.
Scan it, get into our Discord. Ken's logo, as you can see it on his beautiful shirt that I want.
I know, I got new shirts. You like these?
I do. Ken, we're going to add another segment in today.
Oh, man.
For the ECBC segment.
Shane's been working hard.
2 players that we're investing in moving forward. card-wise. Give me one, then I'll give one. Then we've got one more in us.
Okay. The first guy that I'm buying, actually, my second one's going to be a bit generic. The first guy that I'm buying is anticipation of next year's baseball season. I think is really when you see the cards go absolutely bonkers, and that is my man Julio Rodriguez. If you are not familiar with Julio Rodriguez, he is in the farm system, the AAA farm system of the Seattle Mariners. He is dynamite. He has the look, he's got the skill, he's got the just everything about him to be, in my opinion, the next great thing in the MLB. I think in terms of what you're going to see, he's kind of that next wave of rookies. I think every year people go through this rookie hysteria. This year it was a little bit of Cabrian Hayes, but I think last year was bigger with Lou Bob. Before that, it was really big with guys like Yelich and then Acuna and Soto. And Tatis, of course. I think Julio Rodriguez is a slam dunk to join the ranks of that group with Tatis, with Soto, with Acuna. To me, this is what I tell people when they ask me why I PC this guy. I say he is the next Ken Griffey Jr. That is how I'm billing him. That's how I'm hyping him up.
That's a big hype.
It's big expectations, but I believe that this man is the next Ken Griffey Jr. Julio Rodriguez of the Seattle Mariners went up the same way. He's the new kid, and that's who I am buying. He is pricey. People like him. A lot of people like him, but you can find some deals. He hasn't hit the majors yet, so he's not mainstream. Only the savviest of savvy are buying Julio Rodriguez.
So, my first guy, Ken knows that I've been buying a lot of him, is actually a wide receiver, plays for the Carolina Panthers, DJ Moore. I've been looking into a lot of his stuff. I have a lot of off-the-wall stuff of him. Personally, I think he is just one of those receivers that's super undervalued right now. You can get a lot of his rookie stuff for super cheap. I'm picking up a bunch of numbered, low-numbered rookie stuff that's pretty valuable. From 2018, he had 788 yards. That was his rookie year. 2019, got just under 1,200, 1,175 with 4 touchdowns. Follows that up with another 1,193-yard season and 4 touchdowns. And then this year, he's got just under 600 yards receiving and 3 touchdowns. So he's on pace for another 1,200-yard season, maybe 1,400 yards this year with the extra game. And he's doing all of this without a quarterback. Cam Newton was hurt for a lot of his time while he was in Carolina. Last year he had Teddy Bridgewater, which was more of a stable quarterback. But now Sam Darnold has been super erratic. They brought in PJ Walker last game, so we'll see. But he's just been super consistent. I think, if he continues to do this, and he ends up having 10 years with 1,000 yards each year, maybe he's a Hall of Famer at the end of the day. It's a real long-term play, but I really like what DJ Moore does. I like what he brings to the game, his intensity. I think we'll see a lot of his stuff go up soon, especially if Carolina brings in a quarterback in the offseason. I think you see his stuff go crazy. I don't think Sam Darnold is long for the Panthers. So, but yeah, DJ Moore is my first play. Ken, what's your second?
My second's generic. It's ambiguous. It is. It's gonna sound funny. Quarterback rookies who have dipped. And what do I mean by that? Contrary to popular belief, everybody except Mac Jones has dipped. Zach Wilson has dipped, whether you like him or not. I don't. Trey Lance has dipped, whether you like him or not. I'm starting not to. Justin Fields has dipped, whether you like him or not. I still kind of do. Trevor Lawrence has dipped, whether you like him or not. I still very, very much do. Shane, I was so tempted the other day. I saw somebody post on a BST thread on Twitter. Did you see it? The RPA of origins of Trevor Lawrence?
Was it the one that was for like $125?
No, it was more than that. It was an RPA. It was going for like it was under 300 though. And I was so close to pulling the trigger on that, man, because I think people are crazy. I think people are so short-sighted and so impatient to get what they want out of these cards and out of these players that they're just not willing to understand that rookies are not instant success. Yes, there is a Jamar Chase every once in a while, but there's a lot of other guys. Most other guys take time to develop, to take time to get NFL ready. And I think that's what you're seeing with a lot of these guys.
It's almost like a reverse Justin Herbert effect. Because remember, Herbert people would pull Herbert last year and sell him immediately.
And reverse Burrow is the same. Yeah, I mean, frankly, like Shanahan made the right choice with Garoppolo. Lance is not ready to lead a team. Matt Nagy made the right choice with Andy Dalton because Fields was not ready for a passing offense. Unfortunately, they've gotten thrown into the fire, and it has soured people a little bit. Zach Wilson, that's more of just being stuck in a dumpster fire. But Trevor Lawrence, I think, is a little bit more coaching, a little bit more kind of having a real jackass running the operation. That I think they're going to take care of that. And as soon as they get the right coach, I think it'll be all systems go. He's been comped to Andrew Luck for a long time, and Andrew Luck was not elite his first year. I believe he was the quarterback 14 in fantasy. Still better than what Lawrence is doing, but not elite yet. So I like Trevor Lawrence still. I may be a buyer of his if I can find some deals, especially of him. And that may be funny to say, but that's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say the rookie quarterbacks who have dipped, but not just rookies either. People are still skeptical of Lamar Jackson, and you can buy him. People are still skeptical of Derek Carr, which is funny because Vegas Dave was hyping him many years ago. But the thing with Carr that I think I like is he's doing what I wanted from Baker Mayfield because Baker's got those intangible leadership qualities that really makes me like the quarterback. And I think that's what Derek Carr is proving to be. So good for him. And he's probably dirt cheap if I was guessing. So he's probably dirt cheap. He's going to put up stats. And if the Raiders can get some more pieces, they'll have a good team in the next couple of years. So I think he is not a terrible buy, as crazy as that sounds.
So my second guy, it's kind of a tie between two guys that I haven't really bought a ton yet. Well, I have bought a ton of one of the guys, but like I haven't bought anything recently. I've just been putting them on my watch list on eBay, just seeing if I get an offer or something dips a little bit. But I will say one guy I was considering for this was Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, but all the hype beasts have switched to basketball right now. Mm-hmm. And by hype beasts, I mean all the shoe sellers, the botters, the not real collectors, right? People that are going to buy a card and flip it for a $10 profit. Yeah, that's not really the kind of game I'm in.
It's turned me off of basketball, honestly. It's turned me off of basketball cards a lot. Yeah,
because I mean, you can't get like KPJ, for instance, right? Everyone's hyping him up, and his cards are extremely, extremely artificially inflated because he is not that good of a player. He can score, but he's not that good of a player where his cards should be, 10x what Jaylen Brown's cards are. It's just crazy to me. But I still collect Shai Gilgeous-Alexander when I can get a good deal. I did show you the Prism Mosaic I picked up last week that I got for like $30, and it was a rookie card, and it looks awesome. Like I've always said in this segment, and Ken can agree, I've said it to Ken, and I know Ken does the same thing. I collect stuff that, I might be able to sell, but stuff I wouldn't mind keeping either if the bottom fell out of the market. It's stuff that I like and I think looks good on my work desk. I have a briefcase for them. So right now I'm looking at Alex Verdugo and Baker Mayfield. Obviously, I'm not a player on the super expensive Baker Mayfields because right now they're super overpriced. I'm not going to go buy a Kaboom that's $10K. That's just not the kind of game I'm in. But Verdugo has a lot of room to grow. Boston fans love him. His cards sell ridiculously easy. I'm sure Ken can tell you that from going to Boston card shows. I'm sure he's seen tons of Verdugo out.
Yeah.
People buy him. His cards are super sellable. Duvall hit a homer. I thought that was Jorge Soler.
Jeez.
No. So what I'm gonna say for my second one is I'm buying Red Sox this offseason. I'm looking for Devers rookies, Xander rookies, and Verdugo rookies. That's what I'm gonna be buying this offseason. I'm looking for right now. I am currently on my number one on my watch list is a Topps. It's Topps Xander, the Xander Black one that's out of 100. It's like an English variant. Yeah, you're good.
No, go ahead.
I think Ken has a Xander rookie he's going to show.
I do.
But I really want that card. So that's number one on my watch list. And then just I currently have a deal pending for a PSA 10 Verdugo rookie Sapphire auto that will be completed on Friday.
These are mine. I love them both.
Oh, the red hot foil is so
The
nice.
red hot foil is just beautiful, and the gold.
I want to get that.
And the gold. The reason I have the gold is because he has a friend that goes with this guy.
Oh, see, those are the ones. That's my list right now. Are cards like that? I think Devers is super undervalued in the hobby. He's only like 24. Xander's like 26. And these guys don't sell like top all-stars.
Hold on to these two boys too. So that's a Stadium Club on card Verdugo, and that is that's the variation you sent me.
That's the out of 99. Yeah, the green, super short print. I have that. That's actually my favorite Verdugo card I know.
So those are my current Sox cards Those are staying in the PC pile probably forever, but at least for a while. Unless
so I've got two cases. I've got a PC case where I'll pick up like 99-cent Verdugos or Shays that I see because I personally collect both of them.
I mean, as long as they don't sign with the Yankees, they'll stay there for a while.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for Red Sox rookies. When Ken does Bowman draft picks, I'm gonna try feverishly to fight Hatch and 978 and any other Red Sox fan that wants to get the Red Sox that really want some Marcelo Myers Bowmans.
I actually, and speaking of it, we're still in the segment. I did get absolute pricing. You're right. I have no idea how Blowout Cards is selling them for $700 when they are $475. $475. What did you say? Did you say 475?
I thought it was 478, but 475 sounds right.
Yeah, good enough.
It was in that ballpark.
Yeah, I think we should do a couple. At least
I'm in. You know I'm in. I'm sure Bagels is in.
Yeah, I'm now I just gotta think about how many to get.
I think we should do a poll on ECBC after the show.
I could do that. Yeah, let me ask the minions.
But now we're gonna move. Andy had to go away for a few. He's got to get the baby to sleep, so Ken and I are kind of taking things over for right now. Again, the pick'em segment this week is gonna be very short. It's gonna be quick. We're gonna breeze through it because there's not many intriguing games, not many competitive games, I would say. So this is our new segment. I'm calling it "Get It Off Your Chest." It is going to be one sports-related topic that we need to vent about, that we either think is not getting enough headline, or maybe just isn't, just a hot take of yours. And I know Ken's burning to say his.
Mine's a hot take. If we have Boston listeners, they're gonna be mad at me.
I already know what it's going to be. So I'll go first so that I don't retaliate to Ken's hot take.
I don't know if you did.
Tell him he might be wrong.
Oh,
But I guess I'm gonna steal Andy's because it's actually a good one, and I know he was gonna do it, but I'll do it because he's not here. And it's kind of been burning at me is all of these Dodger fans that are saying the Braves only won because they had injuries. They had Clayton Kershaw injured. They didn't have Trevor Bauer because he's a psycho. And this and that. They didn't have Justin Turner.
Muncy was a big one.
And they didn't have Muncy. But I would like to raise that. They didn't lose someone as big as Acuna, and they didn't lose him in the middle of the season. They lost Soroka, who was arguably their best pitcher on their roster. They basically had no outfield. All of their outfielders are pretty much people they picked up at the deadline. They've been riddled with injuries too. Ozuna, because he's a psycho. It's just crazy. I think that the Braves have been seriously discredited and not getting enough credit for being they're a very good team. They kind of slightly remind me of the 2013 Red Sox, where it kind of all just came together in the postseason. Yeah, they were good in the regular season, of course, but they really, really shined in the postseason. This is just a good team. I love Jock Peterson. A lot of these players, like Jock Peterson, Eddie Rosario, are going to get super paid in the offseason, and hopefully it's not by the Red Sox because I don't know, quite frankly, if they'll repeat this success. But yeah, they're looking for big paydays. I'm super excited that they're up 5-0 right now in Houston. Keep it going. Keep piling on the runs. Force Dusty to use his bullpen. And then just one additional one. There's this Let's Eagles Fly podcast that called out the sweetest kid on Twitter. I don't know if you know him. Do you know Giovanni, the podcaster, on Twitter? I retweet his shit all the time.
No.
He's this little kid that's had so many battles with illness, and even like there was like superstars that called out this guy because he was a dickhead.
Oh boy.
He's battled tons of he was like a Make-A-Wish kid, right? That made a Philly podcast and is in love with Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz is like his hero. So Carson Wentz flew him out to Indy last weekend, showed him a good time, got him a jersey, did all this cool stuff for him in Indy. And this guy, he's like 35 years old, calling out this little 13-year-old kid, calling him a scumbag, telling him that he's not a real Eagles fan because he's wearing other teams' jerseys, and that it's basically because he's overcome his illnesses, so he's not really a Make-A-Wish kid anymore, but saying that the only reason people are even paying attention to him is because it's like a Make-A-Wish thing. Like, it was just really fucked up. That guy's a dickhead. Don't listen to his shit. Hopefully, he was like venting about it in a Target parking lot. Like, come on, dude. Are you serious? The kid's 13 years old. And he's jealous because this guy has the kid has 40,000 followers on Twitter. So he's just jealous of like how much clout he has, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of stupid.
That is something. I was not aware of that though.
Yeah, I just read about it on Twitter today, but no, Giovanni the podcaster is a good follow, does kindness huddles every day. He's really like I don't know, I think he spreads positivity, and it's always good to see that on Twitter through all the shit that goes on throughout the world. So it's good to see shit like that sometimes. So yeah, if you're ever on Twitter and he tweets a lot about football and stuff. If you like talking sports, he'll talk sports with you, even though he has like 50,000 followers. Give him a follow. He's a good follow on Twitter. I think he's a cool kid. But now we'll move to Ken. I'm sure this topic is going to be good. I'm going to like it.
I don't think you're going to like it. So, all right, this is a take that I've had for a while. Nobody agrees with me, so I thought it was perfect for this segment. It has to do with the Red Sox. Actually, it has to do with where the Red Sox play. My one sports-related take that needs to come off my chest and needs to happen is that we need to bulldoze Fenway Park. Bulldoze it. It needs to come down. It needs to be destroyed. Or not destroyed. I guess you could keep it as a museum. But it is time that the Red Sox...
Hold on, wait, did you just say get rid of Fenway?
I said get rid of it. It's got to go.
Where are we gonna play?
We need a new park. That's the point. It's time to turn Fenway into the museum that it was supposed to be. It is not a 2021 baseball stadium. We are the Boston Red Sox. We are the fucking Boston Red Sox. We should not be playing in this dump. The seats were made for people that were 150 pounds soaking wet in the year 1900. Think of it this way, Shane. Me, you, and Andy, Ask Us Sports could never go to a game at Fenway Park and sit in loge. It's just not possible. The seats aren't built for men like us. The seats aren't built for 21st century men. This park is so severely dated. It's got the highest prices around. We're a big market team, and it's time that we play in a big market stadium. And I guess the thing that bugs me with it is that people say the history. Like, are you aware of what the history is? It's 86 years of misery and woe and hardship. It's basically what the Lions and Saints have to hold their hat on. That's what that history is. The only reason the history isn't sour is because we've righted the ship this century, and it doesn't look nearly as terrible as it does last.
Kind of like Wrigley, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. Yeah, Wrigley, the same thing. Yes, the history is the curse, if you will. We are so far removed from that as an organization that they have no, like we are not the Red Sox that we were back then. It's just, I'm sorry, we aren't. I don't feel the way about them that I don't feel that way about them now that I did then, and I just don't. I don't have that same sort of feeling I have. Yeah, like yes, the Boston Red Sox are my hometown team. But I don't have that love that I had for them where I was desperately craving that win so terribly. And that's because we haven't needed it. We haven't strived for it. And I think it's just time to put the past in the past. And like I said, make Fenway your little museum, charge all the money you want to go in. But it is time for us to play in a big market stadium. And I will die on that hill. Build something nice. You have enough money to do it. It can be right next door. I don't care. Take over Yawkey Way. But it is time for Fenway Park.
Okay, I could maybe buy into this, but I would need to know one thing. Are the Red Sox a dome team, or is it an open concept?
I guess, like, why isn't every roof retractable, I guess? But I don't like dome games. So,
and
my vote would be to not have one.
Would it be AstroTurf? Or would it be real grass?
No, do real grass. You can keep that stuff the same. What you have to get rid of is the fact that everything around it looks like it's about to crumble down on top of you.
So I will agree with Ken on one thing, right? We have a small, or it's not small, it's actually like one of the best seafood restaurants in Central Florida. Right next to my house. It is called the Tavern, or the Town Tavern. It's run by two brothers that are from Boston. They fly all their seafood in from New England, specifically from Maine. It's great. It's the best seafood in Central Florida. If you live here, you come here, definitely check it out in Celebration, Florida. But they have a Red Sox memorial in there with a singular seat from Fenway. And I will agree with Ken that it is ridiculously tight-fitting. It's not made for big guys. So I will agree with Ken that the seats aren't great.
You could do a great service and simply just fix that. If you put new seats in, but that's the problem though, is if they put new seats in with the correct sizing, they're going to remove seats, and that's the biggest gripe, is that our owner is a power money hungry piece of shit. Like, I really don't like the guy. I really don't like Red Sox upper management at all. You've got
to think about it. They got rid of Don Orsillo because he wanted too much money. Albeit O'Brien's good, but he's not Don Orsillo, right?
No, he just doesn't have the personality. He's a better.
I mean, I will listen to, because I have the MLB package every year. I will literally fall asleep listening to Don Orsillo call Padre games because he's just that good.
He is. He really. I know. I totally agree. He really is. And it sucks the way it ended with him, but it ends with him the same way it ends with so many other great Red Sox, by management trying to bury them on their way out the door, just like they tried to do with Pedro Martinez, just like they tried to do with Johnny Damon, just like they tried
Speaking
to do
of Pedro,
with
have you
Nova.
seen him? He's gained a good amount of weight.
Yeah. He's always been short, and now he's not playing baseball, so you know what that means.
I think he's hung out with Poppy a lot. He's definitely enjoying his retirement years.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was the other thing I got at my card show was National Treasures.
That is so sick.
I love it.
His autograph is awesome too.
I traded my the Jordan from the Topps Chrome box for this.
Do you know how mad I am that I sold that like probably 3 days too early? I sold it for $100, and then he went on that tear against the Red Sox, and now it's like up to close to $200.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Well, I traded this. Pedro was listed for 120, so
no, that's still a good deal though. You got something you love.
it's out of 10.
Yeah. So I mean, honestly, if you're gonna get a pitcher auto, Pedro is definitely one of the best to get, right?
Yeah, and I didn't have it, and I don't want the Jordan auto. Not that I didn't want it, but I guess that makes sense. Yeah, he was gonna spike going into the series, but they're getting their asses kicked, so it don't matter.
Yeah. Andy, we just finished our Get It Off the Chest segment. I think it went pretty well. Ken, I did yours, Andy, because I thought it needed to be talked about the Braves not getting enough credit. And Ken did one that I don't know how you would feel about it, but destroy Fenway Park and build a new park.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
Yes.
He said that if us three went to a Red Sox game, it would be physically impossible for us to sit next to each other.
Can't happen. Not possible. The seats are built for
Because
19.
At most ballparks, to be honest with you, let alone.
Exactly, and it's time for a change at Fenway. We've been stuck in the 1800s for far too long. You can make it a museum.
Do you remember how uncomfortable movie seats used to be? And now, like, you go to a movie and they have recliners.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's where we got to get for baseball.
Do we think that's like the move in baseball? Because
that's
like,
what saves baseball.
Well, that would be a
baseball.
very innovative idea in terms of because no team has done it yet. So whoever's
you need to give the old geezers a place to catch some Z's and and the young kids a place to take a nap if they're bored. So I'm all about the lounge.
First of all, if you're bored of the baseball game, there's something wrong with you. You need to go.
Well, but I know I'm not, but people are. That's like the whole problem, right? Like the Pink Cats. The Pink Cat faithful are posting on Instagram and TikTok. They're not watching.
The bored people that are at the game would be if I'm dragging Alyssa to a game.
Would you call Jackson Mahomes a Pink Cat if he was a Red Sox fan?
Yes. He is a pink chief.
But yeah, so we'll move into our pick'em. It's gonna, like I said, it's gonna be pretty quick this week. There's not a lot of compelling games. Andy, I did get your picks that you bolded. You didn't bold the last two. I just assumed who you were picking. On the bottom two, you just have to scroll down on the script a little bit. But just to catch people up, the Braves are up 5-0 right now.
And Charlie Morton just got hurt.
Oh, I did just see that.
No.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
But let's move into our pick'em. Our Ask Us Sports pick'em standings right now. You've got Ken down below, 71-36. 10-3 last week. In second place, you've got Andrew J. Vigilati, 67-40, 4 games back, won 11-2 last week, picked up 1 game. And then you've got me pulling up the rear, 5 games back at 66-41. I went 10-3 last week. I can't win with these guys. These guys are too good. I'm having a good week, and then these assholes end up doing better than me. So
it's impossible to make up ground nowadays.
We'll start with what I believe is the best game of the week, and the schedulers are just ridiculous. Why are the Packers and Cardinals playing on a Thursday? You knew they were going to be good going into the season, especially when the schedules are made. So why are they playing on Thursday? But anyways, I guess we'll have a little Thursday fun. Packers versus Cardinals. I've rode with the Cardinals all season. I'm not going to talk much about it. Kyler, DeAndre, AJ Green has been great this year. We've seen a career resurgence with him. I think you'll see him get a big contract not a big contract, but a multi-year contract in the offseason from some team. He's been super good. Christian Kirk's been good. Zach Ertz was amazing last week. That was such a good addition. Kyler's just spreading the ball around to everyone. That defense looks good. So I'm going to continue to ride with the undefeated Cardinals. Ken, I assume you're doing the same?
I am. I would never pick Aaron Rodgers to dethrone the last undefeated team in the NFL. He doesn't deserve the rub. And honestly, I don't think it's going to be very close now because Green Bay's got some COVID strikes sneaking up on them. That's going to play a big part in this. Devontae Adams is out, right? I believe Devontae Adams will not be playing. I saw today Allen Lazard will not be playing most likely. So their top two receivers are down. Lazard's been the number 2 receiver the last 3 weeks. So they're down 2 guys there. Their only way to win this game is to really, really hammer the rock. They got to run the ball with Aaron Jones, which is an avenue for them to win, but I don't think it's going to be enough just with the way Arizona's been slinging it around, the way Kyler's been slinging it around, spreading it out, using all his weapons. I like the Cardinals here.
Absolutely. And Andy, I'm assuming you're going Cardinals as well here with all these COVID strikes the Packers are dealing with.
I mean, you kind of have to at this point. I mean, you still have Aaron Rodgers with the Packers. He hasn't come in close contact or tested positive or anything. So as long as you have Aaron Rodgers on your team, you still have a chance to win. But losing Devontae Adams, losing Allen Lazard would be good potentially for, say, Robert Tonyan owners, MVS owners in fantasy.
Amari Rodgers, Randall Cobb.
Yeah, Amari Rodgers is another one. From a fantasy standpoint, as long as they aren't in, COVID protocols or anything. So they should step up. So as long as I said you have Aaron Rodgers, you have a chance. But Arizona, they're at home. They don't have to travel. It's a short week. That explosive offense, they should be able to win, I would think, with the Packers shorthanded.
Absolutely. Which brings us into our first Sunday game. Panthers going to Atlanta. I'm riding Atlanta here. They've played really well as of late. Calvin Ridley's back. Kyle Pitts has been amazing the last 2 weeks. Matt Ryan slinging the ball around. It's just going to come down to their defense being able to stop whoever the Panthers are starting at quarterback, right? I know the Panthers are now in talks with the Texans about Deshaun Watson. So the Sam Darnold project was short-lived. Looks like he's probably destined to be a backup quarterback for the rest of his career. So I'm going to go Falcons. Andy, who are you riding here?
Yeah, I'm going Falcons too. I mean, the Falcons, since they went to London, have played much better football. Granted, they've played the Jaguars and the Dolphins, 2 teams combined with now 2 victories. So, we got to see who they're playing, but at the same time, they are playing well. And with the Carolina Panthers struggling so much offensively without Christian McCaffrey, who will be out again this week, it's hard for me to depend on Carolina in a pick'em scenario right now with how Atlanta is playing. And they're finally at home after their London excursion and their bye week and playing in Miami. So Falcons it is.
Fair. Ken, real quick, Hatch wanted me to say if you and I would discuss the dangers of 10-year-olds at card shows. But are you going Falcons here as well?
Yes. Yeah, I don't see how you can pick Carolina right now. Darnold turned into a pumpkin without Christian McCaffrey, and that's really as simple as that. Matt Ryan's looks pretty good lately, actually, too. So Falcons are starting to gel. That offense looks good. They'll take care of business. Panthers are just sliding.
Fair. Which brings us to our next game. We've got the Tennessee Titans, who are on a tear going into Indianapolis. I'm going to go with Ken here, and then I'll go second, and then Andy.
All right. So I think this is one of the trickier games of the week to pick. The Colts and the Titans have both turned their seasons around very nicely. Wentz has looked really good. Jonathan Taylor's back to being a top 5 back. And I'm actually really impressed with what I've seen from the Colts receiving game, or what I've seen from them. Michael Pittman has stepped up. He looks the part. He's definitely making strides this year. And I think it all goes back to Frank Reich. He's a genius coach. He's a really good coach, one of the best coaches in the league. I'll stand by that. And while as much as I love Frank Reich, there's one man I love more, and he's on the other side of the ball. That's Derrick Henry. I will not pick against him right now. He is by far the MVP of the league. By far. Bar none. By far. Tannehill's not even good. Look at Tannehill. He's not even good. Way worse than what he was last year. A.J. Brown is back. This offense is starting to gel, man. It's only a matter of time before Julio has a big game. So, and the way they just kind of spanked Patty Mahomes and the Chiefs, I'm not ready to pick against them. No, certainly not. So Titans for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Titans too. No way I'm picking against Derrick Henry in the Titans right now. Especially if their offense is fully healthy. That team's a different team. The Colts have been on a run, but I'm gonna go with the Titans. Andy, where are you leaning on this?
Yeah, this was one I went back and forth about. Both teams are playing really well. I like what Indianapolis is doing a lot. I like what they're doing a lot with Jonathan Taylor. It really has helped cement their offense and has really helped stabilize Carson Wentz. And Carson Wentz has been able to utilize play action, utilize Michael Pittman down the field, and his tight ends and Mo Alley Cox has been a continued success for this offense. So as long as they continue to do that, I think the Titans will come back down to earth a little bit after their big-time victory against the Chiefs. And I'm going with the home team here in Indianapolis.
Fair enough. Going into our next game is the Dolphins versus the Bills. Andy, where are you on this one?
Pretty clear it's going Buffalo. I mean, we saw Tua have a little bit more success last week, but that was more so, I think, an anomaly. I think that Buffalo, coming off the tough luck loss in Tennessee and coming off their bye week, will be motivated to basically destroy Miami.
Fair enough. Ken, where are you leaning on this?
Yeah, not much to say. I don't see how you could pick Miami here. The Tua's back. That's about it, but they are a mess. So, yeah, Buffalo will take care of business here. That's for sure. No concerns.
Tua is back. Give me the Dolphins. I'm going Dolphins here. We're gonna see the Tua-led offense beat the Bills.
Okay. Sure.
Going into our next one, this should be really easy. I'm not gonna say much. I'm taking Bengals. Andy, where are you going?
Should be really easy.
All right. It's going to be one of those games where, Zach Wilson's not there. So I guess who's playing quarterback? Mike White. Joe Flacco, potentially.
Is Joe Flacco going to play or Mike White going to play?
My guess would be Mike White because he's been in
I'm thinking Mike White because Flacco probably needs a week to get in the offense.
Yeah, I would say. Either way.
It's just like what offense?
I would like to think that Cincinnati will get the job done. I'm hoping there's no, I would say, trap game, vibes in this one. I just don't necessarily trust New York to consistently put any points on the board or, frankly, keep the ball enough. Jamar Chase, that offense is lethal right now. So I'm going with Cincinnati.
Ken, are you going with the Bengals here too?
I am. By popular demand, we should talk about the Survivor pools. This is one of my options for Survivor this week. I really think it's a smash spot. I don't think there's a lot of great places to use the Bengals with that division. Obviously, the Bengals are who I pick here. I mean, the line opened at 9.5. 9.5. Does that seem extraordinarily low to anybody else? 9.5. I don't care if it's a road game. The Jets should be relegated to the ACC. I think that's my pick. The Jets should be relegated to the ACC.
Wouldn't it be funny if we had like the Premier League? Like the Premier League, we have relegation every year.
The Jets should be playing ACC.
Jets would be relegated.
It should be Jets versus.
And then whoever wins the national championship can come up.
Can move up. Yeah.
But they'd have to keep the same roster.
for those keeping track in Survivor Pool, I am between the Bengals and the Chiefs this week. I think they're two great spots. I don't think you can go wrong with either one. I am sort of leaning the Bengals just because I'd like to get it out of the way on Sunday, but this is kind of a good place to use the Bengals, and there's not a lot of good ones. The Chiefs don't have a ton of great spots to use them either, but I think they have a couple of more than the Bengals do.
And then moving into our next game, we've got the Steelers versus the Browns. Baker is questionable for this game. I don't know if he's playing or not. But quite honestly, I'm going to take the Browns here. I think that they're getting healthy. OBJ is projected to play. Jarvis Landry's projected to play. Nick Chubb is projected to play. So they're getting their offense back. I think this is going to be a good week for the Browns. I don't think the Steelers are going to have enough to take care of it. Ben Roethlisberger still stinks. Sorry, Andy. Can't have the World Series and eat your cake too with the Steelers. Give me the Browns. Ken, you?
So I actually kind of like the Browns here too, and here's why. The Browns rank third in run defense, and the Steelers only win when Najee Harris is effective running the ball. And I believe Vic even said that last week or 2 weeks ago, that they stopped throwing him the ball, let him run the ball. When you run the ball effectively with Najee Harris, the Steelers win. Otherwise, you have Ben Roethlisberger looking completely erratic and extremely uncomfortable in the pocket. He does not trust the offensive line in front of him. While the offensive line has been better, I think the Browns' defense is going to play a huge role here. And if Najee Harris is not going to get more than 3 yards a carry, I think the Browns win a slugfest.
Very fair, very fair. And then we're going to go to our man, Andy. Andy, I'm assuming I'm actually not assuming anything. What are you doing here?
Fuck you both. Fuck Bagels. Go Steelers. and Bagels thought I was going to pick the Browns. Get out of here. No.
That was a good one. That was
the Steelers are back. We've won 2 in a row. I don't care.
Oh, Jesus. We're going to the next game.
We're about
to they're back. They're back, the dynasty.
And to the next game. We've got the Eagles versus the Lions. This is an interesting game. There was a stat I saw earlier. What the fuck was
it? Are you going to do it?
There was a stat I saw earlier where it was like there's two. What are the Lions? 1-6?
No, they're winless.
Oh, they're 0-7. And then there was another bad team that was also bad. So the Lions have led in games for 50 minutes this season. And then there's another team that has one. Maybe it's either the Jets or the Jaguars that have led their game for 2 minutes, led in games for 2 minutes this season. So it was just a crazy stat I saw. I should have screenshot it. But anyways, Eagles versus Lions. Both teams are bad. But I like Jalen Hurts. I'm going to go the Eagles.
You like Jalen Hurts? Yes, I like what you said there.
Shut your mouth. Just pick.
Despite my loving for Jalen Hurts, and I think he has a good game. I hope, anyways. I have him in my 2 QB dynasty league with Dak Prescott, which is why I'm 5-2, by the way. But I digress. Detroit's got to win sometime. They're at home. They nearly beat the Ravens if it wasn't for Justin Tucker's magical leg. And they nearly beat the Minnesota Vikings a couple weeks ago on the road. And they were winning for, I think, at least the first half and going into the third quarter against one of the best teams in the NFL, in the Los Angeles Rams. This team is going to win at some point. Why not this week? And why not, because I figured you both would be taking the Eagles, why not take the Lions in the spot? Go Dan Campbell.
The problem is that you figured wrong, because I think this is it. I think Dan Campbell's getting his first win this week. The Eagles are a disaster. They are terrible. Jalen Hurts is terrible. Awful play calling. No dedication to the running game. Until they really figure out how to call an NFL offense, this team's gross. The defense is gross. They looked awful against the Raiders. I really hated what I saw. Whereas with the Lions, I mean, they got grit. They got grit. They have heart. As Vic said, they almost beat Baltimore. They should have beaten Baltimore because there was a delay of game on that league-breaking field goal. They played the Vikings tough. They played the Rams tough, frankly. And I think they just need to figure out how to score with some more efficiency. DeAndre Swift is the real deal. It would be nice to get some of these receivers back healthy. Tyrell Williams is a joke. They do need to address the lack of receiving options, but get Hawkinson the ball, get St. Brown the ball, Khalif Raymond. These guys look like they're showing something. So I think this is a game that's very winnable to them. They should win this game. So Lions for me.
Awesome. Interesting. So I'm riding the Eagles alone. I'm okay with this actually because now I've got 2 chances to pick up 2 games
I'm okay
on Ken.
with it too. Man, I'm just gonna keep my spot in a second.
We're going to a game that doesn't need much talk here. Rams versus Texans. The Texans are awful. I'm going Rams. Ken, I'm sure you're doing the same.
I don't even know what else to say. Tyrod's back, but who cares? Yeah. Rams here for sure.
Andy, where are you on this one?
Is it a potential trap game? That's all I'm saying. I'm not picking Houston. I'm going with the Rams, but I feel better because at least you two are picking the Rams with me. But man, I don't know. I get these trap game vibes for some of these games. You know what I mean?
There's going to be one eventually, and I omitted this from my survivor picks because I've already used the Rams in my pool, but that would be such a great slaughter if it happens.
I mean, look, the Jets, who were winless, at 0-13 or last year, or 0-12, 0-13 last year, went into Los Angeles and beat the Rams. So the Rams are one of those teams that could fall for the trap with Houston, especially if Tyrod Taylor is coming back. I'm not convincing myself to pick Houston, so don't worry about that. I am picking the Rams, but I'm just putting it out there. And
that's fair.
I know when Houston beats the Rams on Sunday, I'm going to text our group chat, and be like, why the hell didn't I just go bold and take the
Well, I mean, with Tyrod back, it probably is a boost for Brandon Cooks owners, right, in fantasy. So we'll see how it goes. On to the next one. We've got the 49ers and the Bears. I'll go first again. I'm gonna go 49ers here. I think they're gonna start figuring things out. Justin Fields doesn't look like he really knows how to pick up blitzes. Looks like he needs a little more seasoning. Not say like Ken in the card segment. I'm not completely off of Justin Fields, but I think there are some big factors and some crucial things that he needs to learn, especially blitz pickup and recognizing blitzes. So I think the 49ers are going to throw a lot of that at him. So I'll go Niners. Andy, where are you on this one?
Yeah, I'm with you on San Francisco here. I just think they'll play a more fundamentally sound game, not just defensively getting to Fields and confusing him with different looks, but I just think offensively too. David Montgomery's not healthy for the Bears, and Damian Williams even's been banged up as well for the Bears. So for me, I just think that I really liked what how Elijah Mitchell ran the football to some degree in their game last week, despite the loss. I did pick Indianapolis. We did pick Indianapolis in that game against the 49ers, so we all got that right. However, I think this is a great bounce back spot for the 49ers going on the road and taking care of business against the Bears.
Ken, who are you liking on this one?
I actually wouldn't be surprised to see the Bears win, but I'm going to pick the 49ers because just haven't seen enough out of Fields yet. We have seen enough out of Khalil Herbert. He looks good, but it's not enough, I think, to pull out a win against a Niners team that's going to be really desperate and really hungry. Shanahan's got to get his act together because he thinks he's cute. He thinks he's some genius, and he's really not. He's got to chill out and start winning some games because he looks extremely overrated to me, and he doesn't look like he could hold Sean McVay's jockstrap. So that competition is so one-sided right now. And also you got Cliff over in Arizona. they're doing laps around Shanahan, and there's no excuse for it. The Niners should be better than this. And before you say the injuries, they have this injury problem every single year, so maybe they should look into that. They need to win this game.
It's funny that you bring up Cliff because I actually think Cliff is one of the best coaches in the league, and he doesn't get enough credit for the work that he's done in Arizona.
That's what I say about Frank Reich. If Frank Reich had Andrew Luck as his quarterback still, they would have won a Super Bowl by now.
I can see that. So moving on, this sounds like a segment I can cook up for next week. So we'll leave that on the back burner for now. We're moving into New England, going across the country to Los Angeles to face the Chargers. Andy, who you got going first? You go first. I'll go second. Ken go last year.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going with the Chargers. I mean, I will say this. I have liked what I've seen from the Patriots over the last couple of weeks. Despite the loss to the Cowboys, you guys almost won that game. And Mac Jones has been playing a lot better. And I like that they're giving him more chances to really throw the ball and to assert a skill level within that offense. So I do appreciate that. But I like the Chargers coming off the bye week. I know they want to bounce back against that slaughtered game against the Ravens. So I'm expecting the Chargers to have a better showing at home and get the job done. I think it'll be within a touchdown. I think it'll be a pretty close game. I think the Patriots will show up. They'll play very well. But I think the Chargers will do enough in the end to get the victory.
So I did this earlier in the show. I know we said we'd zoom through this. We're pretty close to being done. But I need to bring this up. Andy, so you said you like Mac Jones?
I like that they're giving him opportunities to really show himself. And
But you like Mac Jones though?
I think he's definitely.
You're turning red, so you like Mac Jones. Just say it. Come on, say it. Nope, say it.
I like Mac Jones within this offense if they're giving him the ability to throw the football. Yes.
Do you like Alex Verdugo?
Do I like? I've never had a problem with him. Why?
You like him though, right?
Sure.
And you like Mac Jones?
He did this when you were away too.
I have no problem with either guy, Shane.
Would you say that I have an eye for talent, Andy?
I did hear this one. I wasn't here, but I did hear it.
Would you say I have an eye for talent?
Local talent only.
Local talent, yeah. I heard that one.
What do you mean? I've got an eye for a lot of talent, but specifically those two players.
Well,
Because I
like
remember being
Demonte.
shit on by a lot of people
When
that I
did it
liked Mac Jones and I liked Alex Verdugo.
I know you had real bad feelings for Jamar Chase. How'd that go?
I've eaten my crow on that, honey. But anyways, yeah, I just wanted to get that in. I thought that was fun. Ken, Ryan Crawford is actually a Colts fan, and he is loving that.
Okay, I gotta get rid of that.
That's good. Yeah, no, that I do feel that way. I was a big Reich Luck fan. I thought that combo was going to be
Ryan,
great.
I do love Tua, and he's been great.
That is true. Thank you, Ryan, for the comment.
Wait till Tua beats the Bills this week, okay? That's all I got to say, dickheads.
If that happens, Shane, I don't even.
I
know.
might not be at the podcast next Tuesday.
Shane will be doing it by himself.
Yeah.
Ken, now we'll get to you. Do you like the Chargers here?
This one sucks because you'd love to pick the Patriots, but this is my issue, right? 50,000 points against the Jets is only so impressive. The moral victory crap is going to stop, and they need to have a quality win. Their wins are against Houston, the Jets, and the Jets. They need a quality win. They played Tampa tough and they lost. They played Dallas tough and they lost. So what has this shown me so far is that when they get their shit together, they can play good teams tough, but they don't make the winning plays when it counts. And until they do that against top-notch competition, I don't think I can pick them against top-notch competition. So I'm going to pick the Chargers, and if they prove me wrong, and I expect them to play a close game, if this is not a close game, then what we saw last week means nothing. That Jets win means absolutely nothing. So all the good that happened, forget about it, because that's what they're supposed to do. They need to play a close game here, and they need to win it. And if they don't win it, they're going to – I don't want to hear that moral victory crap, because all it shows me is that this is a team that can play with the big boys, but at the end of the day, they're going to lose to the big boys, and that needs to change for this whole operation to kind of move forward. Herbert is sort of the next in line in terms of the elite quarterbacks that they've played. You know, like we just cited, Brady, Dak, they kept them in check. They should be able to do this to Herbert to keep the game close. And if the Chargers win by 3, that's how I'm going to make my pick. So I will say Chargers by 3. But if it's Patriots by 3, I'm more than happy to lose this pick. I will say that. I hope that I do lose this pick. But until they show me that they can beat a quality team, and let's be honest, I mean, those 2 games against Tampa and Dallas were at home. This is not at home. They're 2-0 on the road, right? But it's against Houston and the Jets. So this needs to be they don't have a quality win on their resume yet, and that's the biggest thing that's missing to me. And this would certainly constitute that if they can pull it off.
Fair. Yeah, I'm going Chargers too. Same sentiment. It'll probably be Chargers by 3. But if I lose this pick, I'd be more than happy to lose it. Moving on, we've got Jaguars versus Seahawks. Seahawks don't have Russell Wilson. I'm going Jags. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to have another good game. Ken, where are you on this one?
I hate the Geno Smith Seahawks team that Monday night, and it sucks that it happened right before primetime, so we have to watch Geno Smith for 2 weeks in a row like we did last night. He sucks. Jaguars coming off a bye. It's a long trip. But Seattle hasn't been good at home. This is not the Seattle Seahawks at home that you remember from these years past. This is going to be an ugly game. But there's not enough star power on Seattle to overcome losing Russell Wilson. There obviously is DK Metcalf. There obviously is Tyler Lockett. But other than DK Metcalf's big play, they don't have enough in the tank really to sustain an offense for 60 minutes. And I'm hoping that with the bye week, that they're going to really figure out some things to do with James Robinson and Trevor Lawrence. The Jaguars offense should definitely have a steep advantage here to be able to pull this one out. Both these defenses are mediocre. So I'll go with the Jags.
Andy, are you leaning Jags here too, or do you just love Geno Smith?
I do not love Geno Smith. This one, I mean, this one would be easy to say, okay, Seattle will bounce back at home. Jacksonville's terrible, But I'm looking at this game, and I don't know how the over-under line is 43.5. I would think that this would be in the 30s. But anyways, I like Jacksonville if they simply go up to Seattle and just assert themselves offensively. And what I mean by that is asserting themselves with James Robinson, getting the running game going, and then utilizing play action to, with Trevor Lawrence. And he's been much better as of late as well, in getting points on the board that way. Because I think if they go up there and play, again, another ugly game, keep DK Metcalf off the field, because Lockett can still play as well. So they still have, strong receivers on the outside that can torch Jacksonville's secondary, frankly. I think if they play a smash mouth game of football, similar to what New Orleans did last night in an ugly game, I think Jacksonville can go up there and get the win. And frankly, I'm gonna trust Trevor Lawrence to do that. I'm gonna go ride my faith with Jacksonville this week, and let's see what happens.
Fair enough. So we're 3 across the board on Jags. Going into our next game, we've got the Bucs versus the Saints. So badly I want to take the Saints, but I don't think we'll see the same Saints team that we saw against the Seahawks. Alvin Kamara would probably have to double his output to make this Saints team beat the Bucs. Kamara had 11 receptions for like 130 yards, a touchdown, and then he added in like 60 rushing yards. He was incredible against the Seahawks last night. I really think he would have to double his output to be able to beat this Bucs team. they're just humming right now, and Brady's playing some of the best football he's played in the last couple of years. So I'll take the Bucks. Andy, I assume you're probably going to do the same, right?
Tom Brady versus Jameis Winston. I mean, come on now. I'm, let's go. Tampa Bay. Tom Brady, let's go. Let's go.
I'm going to record that. I'm going to clip that. I'm going to put that on you saying.
I like Tom Brady now that I like Tom Brady now that he's out of a Bucs uniform. Or I'm sorry, out of a Patriots uniform and in a Bucs uniform. Much more likable.
Ken, where are you going on this one?
Yes, the Bucks. Yeah, Brady versus Winston. This is funny. It's gonna be a good matchup. Revenge game for Jameis, but no, not really. Yeah, the Bucks. They're gonna. Tom Brady's on an absolute tear right now, so not much else to say about that. It's gonna be the Bucks.
Fair. Which brings us into our next game. We've got the football team going to Denver. Oh man, this is a hard one for me. I've been going with the Broncos a lot lately, but I think I'm going to go football team here. The Broncos defense hasn't been that great. I think Terry McLaurin, Taylor Heineke, and crew can kind of figure it out this week and sneak another win. Maybe that Washington defense shows up this week. I know Jerry Jeudy's back, so that's big for the Broncos. But I'm going to go football team. Ken, where are you on this?
Oh, you're going football team? Damn.
Yeah, it's hurting me so much.
I originally had the football team, and then I switched to Denver, and now I'm going back and forth as I talk. Because I do expect Washington to wage a war up front and get to Bridgewater, but this is a defense that's allowing 30 points a game. They are bad. They are bad this year, especially in the secondary. Might be the worst secondary in football, or at least they're playing like it. I kind of like how Denver's getting healthy with Bridgewater coming back, and Javonte Williams is getting inundated, getting NFL ready. He looks NFL ready, looks like an NFL running back. And the biggest thing is the return of Jerry Jeudy. Love the return of Jerry Jeudy. Big fan of his. I think big things are to come for him. I like what he does with giving Bridgewater an additional weapon because, honestly, I don't really like Courtland Sutton that much. I don't know what it is. Just not.
I think he's kind of overhyped.
I think he's overhyped. I like Tim Patrick. I like what he offers, but he's not a top receiver. He's a nice role guy. And I think Jerry.
You guys hear me?
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever's going on, Shane, it's on your. Oh, we lost Shane.
Oh no.
But honestly, I do think Jerry Jeudy is immensely talented, and that's why I'm going to go with Denver, especially at home. I think Jeudy coming back is going to be big for this team.
No, I agree. I agree 100%. Actually, I'm going with Denver as well. I just think that they've hit a wall over the last month of the season, and this is a perfect get right spot for them. I think Denver's defense comes to play against a mediocre offense with Washington, and I'm not a huge fan of how Washington has played defensively this year either. So I like the Jeudy. I like the Jeudy mention. I think that they get Melvin Gordon and Williams going on the ground this week to neutralize that pass rush from Washington. That helps Teddy Bridgewater out. I'm going with Denver.
Ken, did you say you were taking Denver?
I did say Denver, yes. Also, that is a great stat by Cam. I think he's talking about the last game, though. Who was the guest?
I remember Marshawn Lynch cussing.
Yeah. Every active player to be featured on the Manning show has lost their next game. So good stat. I like stuff like that. So I don't know who exactly he's talking about because I didn't watch the Manning's game other than seeing Lynch and Brady. It was Brady, obviously.
Oh yeah.
It was Brady.
Okay, they're not losing.
So yeah, we'd have to take the Saints. I don't know. Is this a real home game for New Orleans? I guess it's possible. We could see an upset.
Moving into our Sunday night game, which might be a little better than some of our late games, we've got the Cowboys versus the Vikings. Ken, I sent you a picture. Take a look at that.
Yeah,
I'm going to take the Cowboys here. I've been riding them the last few weeks. I don't think the Vikings have nearly what the Cowboys have. They just have so much firepower. Dak's throwing the ball around throwing the ball around the stadium, just everywhere. Everyone's getting involved. I was telling Ken that before the show. Dalton Schultz, Cedric Wilson, Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb. They're all just getting involved. Everyone's doing well. So I'll take the Cowboys. Andy, where are you on this one?
Yeah, I'm going with Dallas too. I mean, it wouldn't shock me. I'm expecting Minnesota to come out, with the momentum early because of their crowd, and it's a primetime game. But ultimately, I think Dallas does get the job done. Both teams coming off a bye week, I think that favors Dallas a little bit more, especially if Dak Prescott, he was banged up at the end of that Patriots game, but, from what I've seen, all signs point to him being okay and ready to go. So as long as Dak is ready to go, I'm rooting and picking Dallas.
Got it.
Yeah.
And Ken, where are you on this one?
Yeah, I actually think this is going to be the game of the week. I think it's going to be a Sunday Night Football classic. I would definitely make an effort to tune in. I think I'm going to. I think it's going to be a close game. Vikings are going to come out strong, force feed Dalvin Cook. It's going to make it tough on Dallas's defense. But I'm not convinced that this defense or any defense has enough to match up with what Dallas has on offense. I'm going to keep buying in and keep rolling with Dallas. I've picked them every week this year, except for week 1 against Tampa. I'm going to keep picking them. They are on the fast track to the NFC Championship game this year. So Cowboys it is.
Fair. And then we've got the worst Monday night game ever. Giants versus Chiefs. This is where the Chiefs are going to I think they're going to annihilate the Giants. Give me the Chiefs. I don't have much to say about this one. Ken?
Yep, I expect a get-right week for them. They were embarrassed last week. They're at home this week. The Giants are still the Giants. They beat up on a really shitty team last week, but that won't matter here. Hopefully it's a statement game for the Chiefs defense, or this could get ugly. Again, this is my alternative for Survivor pick. I will not be picking the Rams. I already used the Rams. I am between the Chiefs here on Monday night and the Bengals at the Jets. Going to go with one of those two. Still haven't decided, but with that said, that means I will be picking the Chiefs here for this one.
Fair. And then Andy will finish you out. You're muted, Andy.
My bad. Yeah, Chiefs. Get right game is what you guys said. I want to try to find some sort of analysis, but man, it's tough. Like I said, Kansas City's offensive line and their defense has given them problems this year, but I feel like that they're going to take all their frustrations out on the Giants this week.
Yeah. So that's our show, guys. We debuted a new segment. We went over our pick'em. We did some different stuff this week. I really liked it. Definitely, if you're listening, tweet at me if you want to hear a Shane and Ken conspiracy podcast that we talked about at the beginning of the show. I think that would be really fun, even if it's a pre-recorded one that we just release on Spotify and Apple. I think it would be fun.
Or if there's something you want us to talk about in general, send your questions. DM Ask Us Sports, DM any of the three of us on Twitter, because we're more than happy to take viewer questions, add them to the script.
Oh, Cam's interested in the conspiracy podcast.
Ken,
if you're a conspiracy theorist, I would love for you to come on and chat with us.
Oh yeah, we need guests. We need guests for that for sure. I'm going to have to do a lot of research and write down, because if that's the type of thing where there's so much to talk about, I'm going to get all scatterbrained and freak out and have a panic attack. So I got to get a script or something. So I know.
I'll sit down with Ken tonight and we'll go over some days. I know he breaks on Wednesdays a lot. But maybe we can squeeze in a Wednesday or record a podcast after an Ask Us Sports one night. We'll figure something out. I'm sure we can find a time where we can sit down for a couple hours and talk about some crazy shit. But yeah, if you have questions or you want a segment added, I know there's some clamor for a Survivor Pool segment. So I think next week we're going to debut that with Ken leading that, because I don't play Survivor Pool.
You know what that means? You know what that means? I'm dying this week.
That can't happen. I need you to stay alive. You're our correspondent. So yeah, we're gonna come up with some new and innovative stuff that I think will be fun. If you have questions that you want answered, or you want to even potentially, if you know Ken or I like Cam, come on and talk sports with us, please. I'm always down to, if you just shoot at one of us a DM, even Andy. If you don't know Andy that well, you can shoot him one, and he'll direct you to talk to one of us. We can get you on. We'd love to talk to you guys, and just do some different stuff. But yeah, Ken, where can we find you?
You can find me. That's my personal account right there at Kembo J Slice. As you guys all know by now, I also have EC Breaking Co., East Coast Breaking Co., new swag, new clothes, East Coast Breaking Co. I don't have the business card in front of me. Shane flashed that earlier, but reach out to me on Twitter. I'm more than happy to get you in. There's some stuff coming. I'm going to post a giveaway soon on the Twitter, and I'm going to post a Discord exclusive giveaway coming up soon. A Discord exclusive giveaway. That's gonna be good. That's gonna be good stuff. It's gonna be a little bit more effort for you guys. It's not just gonna be a like, retweet, follow, but it's gonna be something. Hopefully, help us get going in the right direction with some of these breaks. We have Absolute Football coming up tomorrow, so I think that's going to be the next one. We'll figure out how to do that, and yeah. But if you have any questions at all, please, by all means, reach out to me on Twitter.
Amazing. Andy, where can we find you?
Well, other than my living room pacing around watching the World Series, you can find me on Twitter at Viggy Bets. Couldn't really talk a lot about the bets tonight. We did cash the Knicks -2. That was pretty easy, along with the Tampa Bay Lightning, Pittsburgh Penguins over 5.5. That came in really late for the first two periods. That wasn't looking very good at all, but thank you to those empty netters and those late third period goals that typically happen. The over 5.5 is always usually a very good bet, very sound bet. And then we have the over 5.5 for Montreal and Seattle tonight, which is off to a good start. So 3 bets and potentially 3 cashes tonight. Quick update on Charlie Morton, who exited the game in the 4th inning for the Braves. Unfortunately, it's not good news. He broke his right fibula.
Shit.
Out for the remainder of the World Series. He is expected to be ready for spring training for the 2022 season, so it does make it harder for my Braves to win the World Series. But, we're a gritty team.
Who comes up for him now?
Kyle Wright was added to the roster before the game tonight, so he could be an option. Drew Smiley out of the bullpen could provide a start. He did really well in the NLCS against the Dodgers, so there is possibility there as well. So, Brian Snitker and the boys will figure it out. They'll be able to add a player to the roster with getting rid of Charlie Morton. So unfortunate. He was off to a strong start tonight and just landed awkwardly on the pitch and unfortunately is out.
It's all right, Vig. You don't need pitching when you have Jorge Soler hitting bombs.
So everyone send my man Viggy some good thoughts on his Braves. You can find me at Ask Us Sports or at S_Miller_27. Talk to me about whatever you want. Recipes, conspiracy theories, all that good stuff. Let's chat. Super excited about the prospects for this podcast. I could also have a giveaway cooking up after Ken does his. There's some good stuff coming. Again, follow the Ask Us Sports podcast Twitter. Like us on Spotify. Like us on Apple. Give us 5 stars on Apple. But yeah, I hope everyone has a great night and see you guys later. Love everyone.
Feel like I'm savage. 20 new bitches and none of them average. I'm gonna fuck me tonight, me a savage. I don't give a fuck about niggas. I don't give a fuck about hoes. I don't give a fuck about your bros. I don't give a fuck about your toes, your hoes, your manicure, pedicure, toes. I'm coming on the block with the rocks, 20-inch blocks in the socks. Niggas keep throwing that tricky ass shit. If I go to jail, I'ma keep it locked in the sock. I got that from King. All of my hoes, they spin on me. All at the mall, I'm bending bends. 20-inch rims on ends. Bitches is coming to the mall and they doing it frenzy. Look at that toy. Look at my story. All of these